And you had mentioned the Chantix. Is that something that you have to get a prescription for, or is it something that they go to the university and obtain, or exactly how is that?
We give it to them free in the study.
All right.
Otherwise, you'd have to get it through a prescription.
Sure.
And we do screen the women very carefully, because some of your audience might have read something about there's been some negative effects with Chantix, but we screen people very carefully for depression and make sure there's nothing that would be alarming, and we watch them very carefully while they're on the Chantix. If they have a real mood change or whatever, we do take them down on the dose, or we take them off sometimes. But we keep them in the study, and the study goes for 26 weeks. It's a long study. And they come, we have women coming in weekly in groups, and we have wonderful exercise therapists there that are very talented, and we run classes. You know, you just do the level of exercise that you can do. It's not like we push people, but we have them come in weekly. We have routines, different routines, dance routines. We have some weights that they do. And then we ask that they do some of that also outside of the class, because what our goal is to get them into an exercise pattern to be healthier just in general, which helps their bones, it helps their weight, and helps them quit smoking as well.
And what great endorphins too.
You know,
to get that going as well. And it sounds like you almost become kind of a new family, because you know, you integrate the exercise, you know, it becomes more of a routine. And that's even a great addiction in itself, is to, you know, exercise every day, and you know, a certain time. Go on. So
make it a habit, a really good habit. So the other thing we're doing is we're giving all the women that come into the study a free bone density as they start the study, and then at the end of the study they have a second bone density that tells them, you know, how healthy their bones are in terms of osteoporosis or osteopenia. So they get a free study both at the beginning and at the end.
Wow, that sounds great in itself, because I know that's very important, especially as women are aging, you know, and a lot of women are very concerned about their hip going out.
And fracture too.
Exactly. And even since as you get older, you know, you have to worry about a lot of fractures within any part of your body, because it takes so long to heal. Okay. And so we would just kind of want to follow up, you know, you were mentioning the depression, the socialization of the smoking. You also touched base a little bit. Is there any type of recommendations that you want to give some of the males that have someone they're dating or seeing, or you know, a female loved one, I guess I should say, even a granddaughter, that any incentive to maybe quit? You know, with your help, or
if they are a smoker themselves, my message would be to quit. To quit along with their loved one, because that's support that can be really helpful. There are many programs available at Tobacco Research, where I work, to help men quit and women. It's important that they're supportive. If they're not a smoker, that they are supportive, because it's a hard thing to do. It's very difficult, and sometimes you have to, when you quit, you have to kind of stay away from maybe your friends that are smoking, because it's just until you get far enough out that you can actually not relapse when you're out with those friends, and that you're strong enough to cope with some of the cravings that you might get. But for someone that you love or whatever, who are living with this person, I think the support aspect is really, really important. And of course, quit if you yourself are a smoker.
I know when both my husband and I were going to quit, and he could do it cold turkey.
Wow, that's very uncommon. Some can do it though.
And so I was you know, it made me feel ashamed, because you know, here I am carrying the child, but I had to do it. But sometimes you have to, you know, your goal is there and you can obtain it. It might take you a little bit longer to do it, but just know the end result is going to be really, really positive.
Right, right.
You know.
You feel better, you look better. I mean, I can pick a smoker out 99% of the time, just by the color of their skin and just by looking at them. Without the smell even of the tobacco, I can usually pick a smoker out.
Yeah, the elasticity in their skin and their teeth coloring and things like that.
Right.
Even, I remember after I quit, I felt so good because almost like the cobwebs in the morning when you wake up, they're diminished. And, you know, that in itself just kept me wanting to quit and continue to quit. Yeah. You know, smoking, as well.
There are really definite health benefits in terms of just your breathing and your ability to do exercise. You know, you can do more and you feel better, less infections, and it's very positive.
Yeah. Even though not someone can maybe do it in 3 weeks, takes another person 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
You know.
Right, it's very variable. Some people, like you said, your husband could quit cold turkey. Yeah, that's really the exception rather than the rule. Most people go through this cycle of quitting and relapsing many times before they can finally make it to a smoke-free period. And some people, you know, they'll say that craving never goes away, but you know how to cope with it. Right. And so that's what you need to develop, the coping skills to be able to not relapse.
Yeah, and they say that stress is a major issue on smoking, that you want to reach for that cigarette when your life gets really crazy. And I like the idea of the relaxation, you know, part of find an excuse to go to the University of Minnesota and, you know, either meditate or in your relaxation course or what you do. Right. What is it that you actually do with the relaxation? Is it meditation or?
Yes, we have tapes and we do help people learn ways to relax. And again, it's a weekly meeting of the group, and it's a group. And the group talks about different things that are going on and struggles that they might be having, and so they can kind of have some camaraderie as a group, and they form a cohesive type of relationship. And they come in weekly, and we also ask them that they do some relaxation on a daily basis at home to also help with some of the stresses. Because we do know that not only is stress from quitting smoking, but there are a lot of life stressors too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just great that they can, you know, kind of go into themselves for a few minutes with the relaxation. Right. And, you know, sort of obtain something just for themselves, just to take the duration of what, 10 minutes maybe? Or
it's about 15-30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And it's not being selfish, it's going to benefit the family in the long run with the relaxation techniques as well. Right, exactly. Yeah.
In terms of their lifestyle, to learn how to deal with some of the stressors that they might experience.
Yeah, great. I know that a lot of women get into smoking, you know, goes along with the drinking, and then of course following that is depression. So is there anything specific for a woman, you know, that might be suffering depression during their smoking?
Well, we do know that depression is more prevalent in women in general, and it's even more prevalent in women smokers.
Oh, okay.
And we've also have some studies which show that when women try to quit smoking, some of these depressive symptoms do surface more. And so that makes it even harder to quit.
Yeah, you've got both of them
going. Right. We are doing a study with younger women looking at depressive symptoms and menstrual cycle and seeing how this might affect their nicotine response or their ability to quit. And that study is also going, and it's for younger women. And we're not giving them anything in terms of medication for that study, but in an office setting, what I would often recommend is something like Wellbutrin, because that has that antidepressive effect, and it would help them with the depression, also help them with the quitting of smoking.
Okay, and I know they targeted a lot of the young girls, the tobacco industry targeted a lot of the young girls back in the probably about 7, 8 years ago, and they got a lot of them.
Yes. Actually, that's where I think a lot of our effort really should be in the young people so that they don't start. Because once they start, the tobacco industry isn't so interested once they're addicted, because they are addicted. They're more interested in getting the people who are still young and still vulnerable. Yeah. So I have worked with adolescents. It's a really challenging group. They have a lot going on in their lives. I've done some studies with adolescents, and they kind of feel like they don't have to worry about getting addicted.
Oh,
they really they'll smoke, and the reason is because they can smoke and quit and smoke and quit, and then all of a sudden they can't quit anymore. And it's a variable time period from when they start to when they get addicted. For some it's a day, for some it's months. So it's kind of we don't understand all of that, but we know that different people metabolize nicotine differently, and so that they build tolerance differently, and so their addictive patterns are different. And so I think a major focus of our healthcare should be on prevention of young people starting.
Yeah, so that's great. Well, with Knowledge for Wellness, that's what we're about too. Educating the viewers as well.
And actually, you know, there's evidence to show that parents, if they smoke, the likelihood of their children smoking is very high.
Very high.
So, you know, in terms, and, you know, being a closet smoker, smoking outside, the kids know. They, you know, and that plays a very negative role in terms of the children will start. Yeah.
That's great. Well, we only have a few minutes.
Okay.
So I just want to ask you if there's something specific that you want to educate my viewers on, something specific that you were thinking of, how the University of Minnesota smoking cessation can assist them.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, we have several programs available, and I think we have the website up. And we'd encourage anyone to give us a call. We'd love to enroll you in one of the studies. We have many studies for men and women. And my main message would be is don't ever give up. You can quit. Eventually you will be able to quit. And there's a lot of help that we can give you in many different ways.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Wow. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for letting me come and talk and meet your audience.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. Okay. I look forward to having you view other shows of Knowledge for Wellness, and visit my website at knowledgeforwellness.com and let me know where you viewed my show. And you can also connect with me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And the mission of Knowledge for Wellness is to inform viewers on health issues, to expose, educate, and make viewers aware, to enhance themselves and their loved ones for a better quality of life. And I hope we have provided you with more knowledge to benefit you and your loved ones. So until next time, be well and goodbye.
Over time you've healed so much in me, and I am living proof that although my darkest hour had come, your light could still shine through. And at times it's just enough to cast the shadow on the wall. Though I am grateful that you shine your light on me at all. Who am I that you would love me so gently? Who am I that you would recognize my name? Lord, who am I that you would speak to me so softly? Conversation with a love most high. Who am I? Well, amazing grace, how